northern Yunnan, China. The Salween River majestically flows from its source in Tibet for 2,800 kilometers through China and Myanmar. And in China, the Salween is called the Nujiang. For a distance of over 300 kilometers, three of Asia's great rivers run roughly parallel: the Yangtze, the Mekong, and the Salween. In 2003, it was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Salween River is precious to many ethnic groups.
The Salween River is the second, largest also rivers in Southeast Asia, and it is still a free river, or it's the last remaining free-flowing river in Southeast Asia.
Salween River is very, very important for me because I think most of the people, like my friend who grew up near the Salween River, we are depend on the river. We are spend our life on the river as a children. When I was a child, we used to play on the river bank. Salween River bank is like our playground. We used to swim, went fishing. So when we got a fish, Salween fish is very nice, very good taste. Yeah, very tasty. And so this is very important for us. It's very meaningful for us. And this is like the heritage from our ancestors. The Salween River has a special place in our history. Thousands of years ago, it's guided our people into what is known Burma.
Salween River is also a transboundary river within the country, within Burma. It also flows through Shan, Karenni, and Karen, and also Mon states.
The rich biodiversity is recognized by the Worldwide Fund for Nature. It is one of the great undammed rivers of the world. But dark clouds are hovering over the future of the Salween. No fewer than 5 dam projects have been approved by the Myanmar government. The future of the Salween River is closely linked to the peace process. This was a key meeting in Oslo, the Norwegian capital. Burmese Minister Aung Min received a warm welcome from the Norwegian Foreign Minister. The sanctions imposed on the military junta had been lifted.
I think, the approach has been that a ceasefire is a very important event. It's not a stop, it's the beginning of a process. And the next process will be about development, about the benefits of peace.
But what kind of development will really benefit the people of the Salween? The peace process has spurred foreign investment, which includes companies eager to build dams on the Salween. Preparations for building 3 dams, Kun Long, the Mong Tong, and the Hat Chi, have in fact already begun. The waters of the Salween are being sold to China and Thailand to quench their insatiable thirst for more and more energy. Hydropower is on the march in Myanmar. The Mong Tong Dam stands out as a mega dam, set to become the largest dam in Southeast Asia. This video of the Shawan Dam, a mega dam built on the Chinese part of the Mekong, depicts a concrete monster rising up out of the deep. But this mega dam generates only 4,200 megawatts. The Shawan Reservoir is 190 square kilometers. But the Mong Tong is vastly longer, covering an expanse of 641 square kilometers. The Mong Tong Dam will be even bigger, with a capacity to generate 7,100 megawatts. It will flood a vast area over 380 kilometers upstream from the dam wall. It will engulf ancestral lands, temples, villages, agricultural farmland, and pristine forest in an area roughly the same size as the whole of Singapore. leading dam developer is the same Three Gorges Corporation that built in China the world's largest dam. 1 million people were displaced. They did it in China, and now the Three Gorges Corporation is preparing to build a mammoth dam in Myanmar, the largest in Southeast Asia, without any serious debate in the national parliament.
Such a big dams like Monton, there must be a proper and comprehensive study, and there must be a very transparent decision-making process.
So they will do EIA 2 years. How can be possible? Because of one thing that around Mungton Dam, so many opposition armed groups, WA, UWSA, and Lahu, and SSA SOT, RCSS armed group.
However, the EIA has been placed in the hands of SMEC, the Snowy Mountain Engineering Agency, a business company that lacks expertise in protecting ecology. SMEC is already advising Myanmar on energy strategy and is in bed with the dam builders. Many Shan villages and communities see little chance to get a fair hearing from SMEC during the consultations in the Shan state.
And the companies, I think SMEC, organized the consultations. They call it the consultation. And then it ended up with a protest, right? So it means that they poorly organized those meetings. For me, I would rather call it a briefing meeting rather than a meaningful consultation, right? And it ended with people's protest because the answers they gave to the people who participated in the meeting were not enough, were not satisfactory.
You use 2 hours for this very huge project, even whatever you have another event or not. Very first time is very short time.
And how do you guarantee for their safety? And what I would like to request you is, please have second thoughts about the Salween Dam. And we consider the Salween Dam as the virgin saline, so we don't like to affect anything on the river. Thank you very much.
There will be flood, so we will lose our land, our forests, and so it's very difficult for us to survive without our land, our forests. I think the place that will flood is very important for us. It's priceless. We are dependent on that.
The government planned to build the dams, and they are treating us like stupid, and they are cheating on us. And we know that 90% of the electricity, they will sell it. Only 10% they will use it for their own benefits. And they will get a lot of money to misuse it. So, the Burmese government is cheating on us all the time.
Agreed to build a dam in Mongton, in the northern part of Shan State on the Salween River, and another one in the Karen State, also in the Salween River, at Haji. Now at Mongton, in fact, is a gigantic project that they have embarked upon. This project required a massive displacement of people unnecessarily. I believe that over 11 townships were emptied to build this dam. The regime in Naypyidaw and Yangon does not trust the local Shan people and the local ethnic nationals. So because of past conflict, and remove all these people in the hundreds of thousands. And we believe that from that area alone, over 120,000 became refugees in Thailand.
So when they come, they give and ask the people to sign their document. So people don't know to sign, but they are afraid. They engage with the bribery. Yes. So we have the photo, and also we release with the photo that they give a price. So why they doing like this? So this is one thing that the local people are very angry.
Hundreds of kilometers south of the Mongtong Dam in Shan State, Thailand's EGAT and Chinese hydropower are in the same bed again, with plans to construct the Hatchi Dam in Karen State.
ဒီဟာတွေစီမံကိန်းကြီးတွေအားလုံးကတကယ်ပဲပြည်သူလူထုအတွက်အကျိုးရှိသလားမရှိဘူးလားတော့တဘွားပတ်ဝန်းကျင်ဆက်စစ်လက်လာမှုတွေကဘယ်လောက်ထိလုပ်ပြီးပြီလဲလူခွေးဆိုင်လူခွေးချုပ်ဖောက်ခိုင်းတယ်ဘယ်လောက်ထိလုပ်ပြီးပြီလဲဒီကိစ္စတွေအားလုံးကကျွန်တော်တို့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံမှာဥပဒေဆိုင်ရာကိစ္စတွေအားနည်းနေသေးတယ်အုပ်ချုပ်ရေးပိုင်းဆိုင်ရာတွေအားနည်းနေသေးတယ်အစိုးရအထက်ရရှိတယ်မှာလက်ဆောင်မှုကိစ္စတွေရှိနေသေးတယ်ဒီဟာတွေရှိနေသေးကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီလိုစီမံကိန်းကြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်ပြည်သူလူထုအကျိုးမရှိပါဘူးနော်ဒီအတွက်အခုလက်ရှိတည်ဆောက်နေတဲ့တာလီမီရေကတာအစီအစဉ်အားလုံးကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ရပ်တန့်ဖို့တောင်းဆိုခြင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်ကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်
And the little information we got reveals only a very little impact of the dams on the environment and on the people. Yes. So for us we don't believe in that because building dams on a mainstream river like Salween will cause enormous impact on the environment, the river ecosystems, and then there are people who live along the rivers, both the upstream and downstream communities. So we haven't seen they have done those comprehensive studies. We got the all information, or the information that conducted by Chulalongkorn University unit, the environment unit, that did the EI study back in 2008. But their finding is, it's pathetic. But this current process, the EIA process, start after the decision has been made. So I would recommend to all, to the governments and to the investors to restart this process again from the beginning. Because EIA, SIA should be done first before you do any agreement.
If the dam continue to build, so I would say that it's very sad for us, not only human but also the land, forest, the wildlife. We depend on our land, our forest, our water. Without those things, we cannot live as a human.
For more than 40 years, civil war has tormented the country. The military junta that seized power in 1962 has set out to crush ethnic armies fighting for autonomy and ethnic rights within the Union of Myanmar. Since 2012, peace talks between the government and 16 ethnic dissident armed forces have been ongoing, but with a comprehensive peace settlement is still a long way off. The Karen National Union signed a ceasefire agreement with the Myanmar government panel in Yangon 2012. Preparations for dam building are racing ahead of the slow-moving complex peace negotiations.
ကျွန်မဒီတန်လွင်မြစ်နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ဒီလွတ်တော်ရဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံအတွင်းတန်လွင်မြစ်ကြောင်းပေါ်မှာဒီဆောက်မဲ့ရေအားလျက်စစ်တီမန်ကိန်းကိုအတတ်နိုင်ဆုံးမလုပ်ဘူးပေါ့နော်ကျွန်မအနေနဲ့ကိုပြောကြလိုပါတယ်။ဘာကြောင့်လဲဆိုတော့ဒီတန်လွင်မြစ်ကြောင်းပေါ်မှာ ညောင်များစွာတဲ့ရေအားလျှက်စစ်စီမံကိန်းတွေတည်ဆောက်လိုက်ခြင်းအပြင်ဒီဒေသခံပြည်နယ်တွေမှာတည်ရှိနေကြတဲ့တိုင်းရင်းသားတွေအတွက်အဆိုးကျိုးများစွာဖြစ်စေမယ်လို့ကျွန်မယူဆပါတယ်
The government side is still reluctant to agree on ethnic rights to share in decision-making about natural resources and mega projects. Pushing ahead with dams could easily derail the fragile peace process.
Encouraging the peace process to go ahead, but they are just move ahead with this project.
We are afraid that if the Salween Dam was built, so the conflict, the armed conflict, the political conflict, the civil society, so this is also will be very damage to the Myanmar country. If we going ahead with the dam, there will be a big conflict, return of civil war.
Since the new government declared its intention to hold peace talks and end more than 40 years of civil war, ethnic rebel armies have signed local ceasefire agreements.
And of course, the government is pushing this kind of development without a comprehensive peace agreements in place. This development project should not be rushed.
But the government has so far declined to call a halt to dam development and has refused to heed the warnings from ethnic groups that they have a right to participate in decisions over natural resources in their states.
Lúc bà cũng là phố con này ta bắt bị đổ bà là để ai từ cái giờ con này ta bắt bị đổ nó khai mà các bắt bị đa thế bây giờ đổ ra đấy ở đây chờ đợi đó ở chờ đợi cái là con nhỏ ta bắt đi với bạn này con nhỏ ở miệt đi miệt cái đó rồi con nhỏ bắt bị ra là bây giờ đổ rồi là ai chỉ có về áo về giờ thì ta bắt bị con nhỏ này ở đây chờ đợi cái này cái miệt là ta cái này.
现在才有一个。
The Shan, the Karen, and all the other ethnic communities are increasingly aware that their future is not only under threat from conflict and the destruction of the environment, but also from natural disasters. Earthquakes are another threat to their survival. In a world of increasing natural disasters, building dams in the vicinity of dangerous fault lines and areas prone to earthquakes is highly risky in the view of Burmese and Thai seismologists. Dr. Sampan, a seismologist at Chiang Mai University, describes the major impact of the March 2011 earthquake in Shan State.
It was quite a big one for Thailand and people in that region. Is recorded as 6.8 on the Richter scale, which is pretty big. That's why it's caused a lot of damage to the communities near the epicenter. I think over 100 people lost their lives, and it caused a lot of damage to several buildings in Mesai area, also in Chiang Rai. Called Nama Fault, which is a branch of a bigger fault called Red River Fault, which runs from southern China through to Vietnam. The dam was hit by the earthquake bigger than what they have thought. Then if the dam collapses, there's going to be a kind of inland tsunami occur in the area.
Dr. Yu Xiaogang, founder of Green Watershed NGO, worked with villagers and scientists to build a movement to stop the dams on the Upper Salween in China.
So we really worry about the earthquake. So we are worried about that dam will trigger the earthquake. And also the earthquake will destroy the Cascade Dam and cause more disaster to the downstream countries. So in 2011, we invite 2 experts on this to visit Newjiang, and these 2 experts visit all the dam sites and find the dam site is too fragile for the dam building.
After we observed these dam sites, the conclusion by these 2 experts is that Newjiang dam plan is on the big and very deep fault line, which still very active. Should not build any dam on the Newjiang.
I heard that Kunlun Dam will be built at the border area at the Myanmar side. But I'm very concerned that because this area is also in the same area of the earthquake area, earthquake zone. And this in that earthquake magnitude at 8 degree, which is very high magnitude degree. So if Chinese government consider the earthquake impact, especially the impact to the downstream country, and I think Myanmar as downstream country will also consider to this kind of risk, earthquake risk to their people. They should stop.
13 dams planned on the Upper Salween in China were suspended by Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao in 2004. Since the suspension of dams on the Salween in China, the projects there are now subject to much tighter seismic regulations and environmental impact assessment. It appears unlikely, therefore, they will go ahead.
Yunnan governor told to the media that Yunnan will not start build the dam on Newjiang until environmental impact, earthquake risk was handled properly.
The risks of building megadams in active seismic zones has multiplied with the increasing tempo of storms, earthquakes, and extreme climate change. The World Commission on Dams in the year 2000, a study of large dams around the world, advised that most megadams leave a legacy of environmental and other liabilities and losses, which far outweigh the benefits of increased energy. So many dams, like the Pakmung Dam in Thailand, have ended up as monumental disasters. So why are governments still in a rush to build more dams? The world has already, in fact, experienced a series of huge dam disasters. The Vermont Dam disaster in Italy killed 1,800 people in 1963. There were 2 further ones in Taiwan. The most recent was in 1999. But the biggest dam disaster of all time happened in China in 1975, when heavy rains and swollen river banks broke the walls of the Banqiao Dam. After the dam walls caved in, whole villages were swept away in the cascading torrents and floods, killing 26,000 people. Another 145,000 died during subsequent epidemics and famine. The people in the Palong Valley of Shan State in 2014 were shocked to wake up one morning to find that a nearby dam had flooded their neighborhood, including their temple. The projected losses from dams are always understated by governments, developers, and their highly paid consultants. We also know that precious wildlife sanctuaries and rainforests will be destroyed before scientists have even finished counting all the relevant species. Man, in his folly, may destroy special plant species which are still unknown. There are other viable options for producing energy. Decentralized, for example, microhydro, home-scale solar electric systems, and wind and biomass systems based on local renewable sources offer an important potential for rural areas far away from centralized supply networks. Alternative options clearly exist to current policy. A policy displacing hundreds of thousands of people. Destroying precious wildlife and imposing dams at gunpoint. The question is whether the government of Myanmar will go beyond the suspension of the Mitso Dam on the Irrawaddy to embrace a moratorium for all dams on the Salween. Not only would it halt environmental destruction, but it may be the only path forward to securing a lasting peace settlement, paving the way towards the creation of a genuine democratic union of all states in Myanmar. The indigenous peoples are clearly determined to assert their rights and defend their lands from invasions by vast mega projects.
Yes, we are calling for the moratorium on large dams on the Salween River. Based on the reason that we have clearly stated that it will create more conflicts, it can derail the peace process, and it can also reduce people's confidence in peace building.
When the government see the Salween, they didn't see the beauty. They just see the money, dollars, but they just see the profits. When I close my eyes, I can see the beauty of the Salween River. Salween River is very important, very precious for me. I think not only me, but also like other ethnics, Shan, Karenni, Hmong, a lot, like millions of people. So I want to tell the world that Salween is not for sale.